And the Lakers' quest for Title 18 begins today because basketball is back. And we've got you covered with all the interviews, sights and sounds from Lakers Media Day. Hello and welcome to Access Sportsnet Lakers, brought to you by your Southern California Toyota dealers. I'm your host, Chris McGee, joined by my co-host, Allie Clifton, and the Hall of Famer, the one and only, Big Game James Worthy. We are back for our 10th season together, Big Game. Allie, your 4th season, and this promises to be one of the most exciting and most intriguing Laker training camps in recent memory. A lot of new pieces, young and old, and a new superstar joining the mix. I cannot wait, guys, but we welcome in, entering his 4th season in the purple and gold, his 19th season overall, and we'll get to him in a second. Are we excited?
We are excited. I feel like that was pretty on par. The anticipation was so excited, and then here we are.
It was a nice build-up. So you got him on the edge. You got him on the edge now, Geeter.
It was. So, yeah, I mean, listen, LeBron, let's just be clear, though. LeBron is ready, okay? They're fixing some things, a little power outage on the, be able to hear us. So he's ready to go. Wearing a New Jersey, too, by the way.
We're going to get to all of that. We got a lot to talk about. This always feels like Christmas Day for me.
Yeah. You know, it's the beginning of another season. You know, nobody knows how to approach a new season better than the young man we're getting ready to talk to in a second. Obviously, his assessment of the last couple of years, having won a championship, he knows exactly what needs to be done, and it's going to be interesting to see, you know, what the King or the Kang,
by the way, Big Game,
has to say.
It is time. We welcome in, entering his 4th season in the purple and gold, his 19th season overall, 35,367 points, but I don't care about that because he is an NFL analyst. Now, LeBron James, man, that was fun. I got welcome, by the way, LeBron, welcome.
I appreciate it. Oh, that was a hell of an introduction, Chris. Okay. I appreciate that, man.
You know I get excited for these things. And I got to tell you, LeBron, Allie and I, true story, we're on the phone last night. We're talking media day. We're going through our questions. And then you came on ESPN2 with the Manning brothers. We literally hung up on each other. We never spoke again. I loved it. I got my one question before we get into basketball. My one question. Peyton Manning puts you on the spot. Man, there's only like 2 seconds left, and he says, what play are they running? You were smooth under fire. You said, hand off to Zeke, touchdown, bang. Peyton erupted. How fun was that moment?
No, it was very fun, man. I'm a big-time football guy, so I was just reading the defense like I do in basketball. I seen that the Eagles only had 3 defensive linemen. Their linebackers was playing deep, and they had just ran the halfback draw the play before and got a bunch of yards. So I felt like they'd go right back to it because Philly didn't change their defense. So I was able to call it on the spot, and you know, I appreciate Mike McCarthy and the offensive coordinator making me look good.
Allie and I's favorite part was when Peyton basically scolded Eli and said, LeBron is the system. All right, don't ask that question.
Eli was trying to do it the right way. Peyton was like, let's keep it real.
Right. You know, that's what happened. That's the big brother. Hey, that's the big brother for you.
Listen, LeBron, you're entering your 19th season. I think at this point, you know, you're the league's 3rd all-time leading scorer. Most guys are kind of, you know, sailing off into the sunset. That just doesn't seem to be your style. So I will ask you this. I think I ask you every year. What's your excitement level heading into this training camp, year 19?
I'm super excited. You know, I know for sure that I won't be able to sleep tonight just going into the first day of practice tomorrow. I love the group that we put together this summer. And, you know, I love the growth of the guys that's coming back. And I can't wait. I mean, this is going to be I can feel it. I can feel the energy. You know, I can feel the aura. And it's all about now just putting in the work. It's all about trusting, you know, the process, working towards the process every single day. But I love this. I love the beginning. I love what we have to start, and looking forward to getting to work.
You know, LeBron, even as a young player, I remember you knowing how to understand the process of putting together the missing pieces or adding on players. And, you know, over your career, you've been very successful at that. Talk about the additions and what's been made this year, the players that are coming in, and what you see their value added and how that's going to play out in your opinion?
Well, I mean, I think it's going to be grand for our team. I mean, we've added a lot of shot making. We've added some dynamic players that could do multiple things with the ball in their hands, without the ball in their hands. We added some length, some vertical spacing, that we lost last year, bringing back Dwight, adding DeAndre, the dynamic and Russ and what he brings to the team, just his energy, his pace, his competitive nature. We brought back, championship players, Trevor Ariza, bring back Doe. And then just guys, unsung guys that, a lot of people, I don't know if they know about, but they're going to be bringing so much to our team. And Kent Bazemore, Kendrick Nunn, what they bring to the table is ridiculous. Wayne Ellington's shot ability. And let me not forget, the growth, once again, another summer for Taylor Horton-Tucker, THT. I'm excited about him and what he's going to bring to our team. So we're dynamic. We have the ability to do a lot of different things out on the floor, but it's up to us to put the time in, which we will. I'm going to hold this team accountable. They're going to hold me accountable, so I'm not worried about that.
LeBron, starting at the top, when it comes to you guys as players, there's a lot of talk about you and Russell, and rightfully so. We're going to get into the fit of the three of you as stars in just a minute, but there's also another guy named Anthony Davis. It just seems like some people have forgot about him. What does, in your mind, rejuvenated Anthony Davis look like?
A lot of people go through the summer and they like to, post their workouts and post their training and post everything that they're doing. If it was one guy that you did not see this summer until he got married last week, it was Anthony Davis. And but I knew everything that he was doing, putting in the work, both in the weight room and also on the court. And he's determined to it's not even about proving people wrong. It's about, proving himself right, because he know what he can bring to the table. And, he's one of the best players that we have in this league. And I'm looking forward to a very angry Anthony Davis. The Anthony Davis that I'm looking forward to seeing this year, it would be the equivalent if the Green Bay Packers lost on a Sunday. How angry he would be. So I'm looking forward to that one.
Did you know he could sing like that, LeBron?
I did. I actually did. But you get a little excitement. Your family and friends is there, mixed with a little, alcohol. You could do a lot of things that you didn't think
we
you
get
could
brave. You get brave under those circumstances.
Yeah, you get real brave. That liquid courage, that's what that is.
LeBron, the addition of Russell, as well as Ali was just mentioning, a lot of talk since the trade has been about the fit with you and AD, the sacrifices that everyone will have to make. How do you envision this looking with you three on the court?
For one, I've heard it before. When I decided to go to Miami, the first thing they said was LeBron and D-Wade don't mix. There's no way they could play together. They too ball dominant. They can't shoot the ball from the perimeter. It's not going to work. They're two similar players. So, we know what happened with that. You make it work. You figure it out. I know what Russ brings to the table. He know what I bring to the table. And when you got a unicorn like AD, he fits into anything. They said that, me and AD wouldn't work when we traded for him. So, I don't really get it caught up in the narrative at this point. That's all part of just trying to sell tabloids. I'm 19 years in this thing, so I know what it's all about. So the game is won in between the four lines, and it's not one on paper. It's not one in the news clippings on, the bottom ticker. It's one in between these four lines, 94 feet. So, we got a job to do, and we'll do it.
LeBron, you look wonderful in your number 6. We appreciate you being ready on that headset right when we came on air. We're going to let you go because you have a lot to do today, but always love spending time with you. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it, Chris, Allie, Big Game, James. Love you guys. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, LeBron.
All right, LeBron.
We'll be talking. That is LeBron James. And look at that. Entering his 19th season, the league's third all-time leading scorer behind Cap, Karl Malone, and then behind him, of course, the late, great Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. Lake Show season is back, and we've got a whole lot more from Lakers Media Day on the way right here on Spectrum Sportsnet. There's Russell Westbrook. We will be hearing from him later in the show. Newest 2021 Laker Media Day, that is Carmelo Anthony, drafted in the same year as LeBron James, and now putting on a Laker uniform for the first time, showing you that mid-range game, that three-point shot. Future Hall of Famer, Carmelo Anthony. And we welcome in Talen Horton-Tucker in his third year THT, but I believe you're still 20 and you're still the youngest guy on the Lakers.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy to think about that.
Man.
Hey, I got to ask you this first before we get
crazy.
into hoops. Your first time ever at an NFL game, how was SoFi Stadium with King James?
It was great. It was a great experience for me with it being my first NFL game. To be there with those guys is, it's a great experience for me. So, I'm appreciative of it.
Talen, did you ever, really quick, did you play football in high school?
When I was younger, and like before high school, I wanted to play in high school, but they told me not to. But when I was younger, my mom she told me I had to pick one after I broke my hand. So, it's been basketball ever since.
I think it worked out just well for you.
Big Game was assuming
I'm
you
happy
were.
I made the right decision.
Big Game James was assuming you were a Bears fan, right?
The
Big
Bears
Game?
fan?
Oh yeah, I'm Chicago, so I'm going to Chicago.
Walter Payton? Walter Payton? Nah, you're probably too young for Walter Payton.
Sweetness.
Sweetness, yeah.
I know about him, but
Yeah.
you know how old I am. So.
Is it weird? Is it weird
Yeah.
that Anthony Davis is a Packers fan, being from where he's from? Does that bother you a little bit?
At first, when I heard about it, it was crazy. But being from Chicago, I've seen a few Chicago people in Packer uniforms. So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to dive into it.
To each his own.
You're 20 years old. He's got a championship, Allie and James, with the team that drafted him.
Yeah.
Big Game, your Los Angeles Lakers. And now they showed you how much they believe in you, THT, by offering you that contract. What's the next step for you in your journey? What's the next step in your game that you want to prove?
I just want to improve in every way that I can. Just coming in with a mindset of just trying to get better. With this group of with the group of guys that we have here, I feel like there's no way possible that I can't get better around these guys. So just being able to come in ready and just ready to compete, be important for me. So I'm excited.
Yeah, your progress was, really nice to watch on both ends of the court. I mean, offensively, you were a shot maker, a guy that could create on his own. And even LeBron said your ability to read defenses and make good decisions. But defensively, you don't find too many defensive stoppers with your length. Is that something that you're going to take more focus on this year? Offensively, I think it comes naturally for you. But you can guard many people, and I just wanted to know if that was something that you've been thinking about over the summer.
Oh, of course. That was something, just trying to get my body in the best shape as possible, just to be able to compete every night with an NBA caliber guard. So, and even, bigs and things like that. So just being able to, come into camp, in shape and, prepared to do that would be, tremendous for my growth. So, I'm excited for that too.
Talen, I think we can all sit here and agree, whether it's as athletes or just as people, that it feels really good to be wanted. Everyone wants to be wanted. And to Geeter's point, the Lakers made that very clear. They want you in a Laker uniform. But for someone so young like yourself, how do you handle that responsibility without letting it become too much, if you will?
I just try to keep the main thing. Basketball is what I'm here for. So I'm trying to, just try to fulfill that as best as I could right now. Because I feel like when you start worrying about everything else outside of that, that's when, things start, to get too much. So now I'm trying to just, continue to just be humble and try to just, be positive and have the positive mindset coming into everything.
Talen, Frank came on our Lake Show podcast and unsolicited brought up your name and how excited he was. LeBron James literally just 5 minutes ago did the same thing. The Lakers showed you this summer how much they believe in you. What does that mean to you? How much does that drive you?
It means everything. With an organization like the Lakers, it's an honor for us to be, in this position that we are in. So I'm just trying to, take it a day at a time and just try to, become, as best as I can be in this Laker uniform for however long I'll be here.
T, being able to learn from LeBron and some other veterans, last year. Now, there are so many veterans on the team. You know, how do you plan to soak up all that history and all that knowledge? I mean, you got Carmelo, you got all these guys that have a lot of experience. You're used to being a sponge, a guy that, you know, really takes that advice and all that stuff in. So what's that's going to feel like having them on the plane, on the bus, in the gymnasium every day?
It's going to be great. You know, I feel like, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I feel like I've been trying to, you know, having my listening ears on since I got here. So I feel like, you know, it's helped me get to this point that I'm in now. So just being able to listen to the group of guys that we have now is going to be, you know, I feel like it'll have, you know, a positive impact on my career.
Yeah. Is there any one veteran that you feel that is similar to your game or that you might, you know, pull from more?
I wouldn't say that. I would just say, you know, growing up watching basketball, being a fan of basketball, just, you know, all the guys that, you know, were here and then the new guys that came in, you know, like being around Melo, you know, with him being top 10 all time is something that, you know, as a kid, you want to be around people like that. So just being able to have him, you know, Rondo, other guys like that around is always going to be great for me.
Taylen, when you think about being drafted to this point right now, what was it like to officially have an off season and be healthy?
Yeah, just being able to, you know, actually have an off season to be healthy. It was kind of hard for me because I wanted to actually get a lot of pickup in, but, you know, just had to wait and, you know, just try to focus on myself and get my body together. So just being able to have an off season was good for me. I feel like, you know, next year will be even better.
THT, when you look at what's around you and the challenges that Frank Vogel has put in front of you, how important is it going to be defensively for you to raise your game, to fit in with this team and get those minutes that you want?
Just being, you know, with me being young and trying to, you know, use my youth to be out there and be a defensive stopper that, you know, that, you know, everybody asking me. So I feel like I could do it and I have the tools to do it. So I feel like I just have to put my mind to it and actually do it.
Taylen, we're going to let you go, but one quick question. Obviously, Geeter mentioned, we all know, congratulations again on the new contract. But my question is what was the first thing you bought?
Good question.
You got paid, my friend.
I haven't bought anything yet officially. Just, you know, I'm trying to wait. I don't want to. I'm around some other guys that got some different things, so I'm just gonna wait.
Yeah.
Smart man, James.
He probably needs to get it.
I'll wait till my time comes.
You probably can afford a better fake ID now until you turn 21.
Hey, I say I don't even need it no more. I'm about to turn 21 in about 2 months.
November, I believe, right? Yeah, he's still
Yes,
20.
sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, THC. We appreciate it, man. Enjoy the media day and your first practice, and let's get it going.
All right, you guys. Thank you.
All right, Taylen Horton-Tucker. James, I'll start with you. Brought up that question defensively, and I noticed your first thing was centered around defense because when you look at this team, we know what he can do. He's a guy that not afraid to take big shots, his ability to score in the lane, but he has to impact his team on the defensive side, and that's what Frank Vogel wants. But it's crazy to me how everyone unsolicited, whether it's LeBron or Vogel, they bring up his name.
Yeah.
They believe in him.
He is a special talent, and he's continuing to grow. You just stated he knows how to play offense. I'm very impressed with how quickly he's able to read defenses and his pace and his patience getting to the bucket and then delivering. But what this league needs more than anything is those two-way players, that Klay Thompson, you know, that guy who can bring that every night, that Michael Cooper, or, you know, that Bruce Bowen, if you will, that guy that's just going to be in your face, create problems. He can guard point guards. We've seen him, you know, get up with his length, deflect, make important steals. And I think the Lakers will get back to Vogel's philosophy and knowing that defense is going to be, you know, the number one thing. They got all this hype coming in, but they get back to the defense. I think this kid is going to be key to matchups in certain situations. They can switch a lot. And I think that's where I think if he puts his mindset to that, offensively, it's going to come naturally. But if he becomes that guy that you don't want to see in front of you when you have the ball in your hand, that could be a major weapon.
I continue to be so impressed with, and I think Frank nailed it in our podcast, when someone has such internal confidence paired with the humility aspect and just the willingness and eagerness to learn and continue to be a sponge, taking advantage of those vets. He often talks about it, Taylen does, taking advantage of what they have to offer Rajon Rondo. We're going to talk to him later in the show.
Yeah.
He's a guy that he really leaned on in his first season, and it sounds like Talen's excited. The work he put in the offseason, again, only time will tell, but I'm excited to see that step that he's going to make this
We
year.
got to remember that for Rondo, because I wanted to ask Talon about that. Ran out of time, but we'll have to ask Rondo about that connection they had when THT was a rookie. All right, you know who else is here, but he's not with us? He got to go to Media Day like we used to get to go. That's Mike Bresnahan. He's standing by with Kent Bazemore.
Kent, welcome back to the Lakers. Haven't seen you since 2014 with this franchise. What brought you back?
I love the energy around the organization, and being in some tougher situations over the past couple years. This is a tough league. It's a man league. You grow up, you add family, you add all these other responsibilities, and when free agency started, I heard from Rob Pelinka, Frank Vogel. I heard from a lot of people on the staff that were really excited to have me become a part of this team, and the energy around the situation, trying to win, really putting all the eggs in the basket to get number 18 really resonated with me, and now I know what it really means to put on this Laker jersey and try to do the unthinkable. Being a 10-year vet, undrafted, it's been a crazy ride. So I wanted to go to a place where I would give myself the best chance, to accomplish some of my dreams.
So many different faces on this team, 10 in all.
Yep.
How's the chemistry, though? You guys obviously had a pretty good trip to Vegas over the weekend.
Yeah, it's been amazing, man. I mean, you got a lot of guys that just get it. A lot of guys have been around the block. A lot of guys, you're getting, with the younger teams, they have a lot of players trying to find out who they are, as players, as people. But we got guys here that been around the block that have weathered so many storms and that are seasoned, and great mix of young players too. Malik Monk, Kendrick Nunn, undrafted guy, Austin Reeves. So it's a really good mix of youth and experience.
Let's talk about your role. You're a 3-and-D guy. That's what you've kind of shown over the years. Do you expect to start or come off the bench? And what do you think you can bring to this team?
I'm just bringing 100% energy and effort. I've always hung my hat on the defensive end, and Coach Vogel, he echoes that a lot. Defense is everything. Defense wins championships. Back in 2020, when this team won the championship, they were tremendous defensively. So it's something I'm looking forward to. The task of taking that tough assignment every night and giving it my all, being a glue guy, being a great teammate, keeping us together.
Yeah, this team's also going to score a lot of points, aren't they?
Oh yeah, I mean, we're going to get out and run, but it starts with defense. If we're defending at a high level every night, it's going to be that Showtime Laker basketball everyone's looking for, with Russ and Bron, AD attacking out in the break, me running the lanes, and a lot of shooting. We got some 40%. Tray ball shooters here, so it's going to be a lot of threes raining as well.
Yeah, and you're one of them. 41% last season. I don't remember that skill when you were with the Lakers. It was good, but you've really refined it over the years.
Exactly. Once you start playing, you understand what keeps you on the floor. Playing defense and knocking down threes. I played in Atlanta back in my first year in 2015, and I really perfected the corner three, and that kept me on the floor down the stretch. And as I've gotten older, just learning which ones to take. Playing to your strengths and being ready to shoot is a really big thing. And I know that Bron, Russ, and AD are going to attract so much attention getting into the paint. And Rondo being a great passer that he is, just being ready to shoot and letting it fly.
A lot of people saying this team should get to the NBA Finals, maybe even win a championship. How do you guys kind of brush that off and say, hey, if it happens, great, but we got to play every game like it's important?
Yeah, LeBron said it at our mini camp down in Vegas. We can't skip steps. As much as we can, foreshadow that, or foresee it, or speak it into existence as people like to do. There's still work to be done. The worst thing we could do is underachieve as a team. I think if we go out with the right mindset every night, looking to play the best of our abilities, play within each other, regardless, win or loss, learn from our experiences, we'll be right where we want to be when the time's right.
Yeah, a lot of people saying also this team's a little old. They got 10 guys, 32 and over. Frank Vogel was asked about it last week. He said, I don't like that narrative. These guys are good. They can play. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, this age is being redefined, across every walk of life. If we want to stick with the sports, you look at Tom Brady. I mean, it's just, you know, people that are redefining what age really means, and it's all in between the years, you know. Yeah, we're a lot older, but, you know, we do probably, you know, this is probably the team in the top 1% of the league that take care of their body, you know, that have daily regimens, rest and recovery, fuel, nutrition, weight room, you know, you name it, you know, and we all listen to our bodies. So, you know, if we all feeling a little off, and, you know, we don't have to come in here and beat the crap out of each other, you know, we could take a mental day and learn and get better, just as better by doing that.
Last one for you, that guy right over there, Anthony Davis. A lot of people talking about his look right now. How does he seem to you?
He's good, man. I mean, I'm excited. You know, I'm excited to play with a guy. So I got the Lefty Driesell Award in 2011 for the best defensive college basketball player, and he got it in 2012. So I'm real curious to see what that looks like on the court. You know, at this level.
You paved the way for him.
I did. Yeah. You know, he was all excited about it. I was like, I done got that already, bro. It's all good.
AD's looking good. You're looking good. Thanks for your time, Ken.
Yes, sir.
All right, Kent Bazemore right there, referencing the 2011 Best Defensive Player. He's one of the best two-way players on this team, big game, and it depends who you talk to. But there are people that believe he could crack that starting rotation and really be a part of it if he's defending that perimeter like we know he can.
And it just depends on what Vogel's looking for. It just depends on who he wants to start the game, what he wants the rotation to look like, you know, coming off the bench. When I think of Bazemore, I think that, you know, to me at this point in his career, he's kind of like the National Guard. You know, when things aren't going so well, the local police can't handle it, you know, you call in Bazemore because he can do so many things. He can shoot, he can defend, he's a lockdown defender. He's been around the league long enough to not be afraid to play and take shots and get physical with other big-time scorers in this league. So he's that type of guy, whether he's starting or whether he's coming off the bench. But like you said, he does have that capability to, you know, bring that energy at the beginning of the games, something that the coaching staff might be looking for.
He, one of many guys who are coming back, understanding what the organization is all about, the expectations, what it means to be a Laker. I also think, I know that the Warriors a season ago weren't that dynasty team that we all grew to love and watch from afar as competitors, but he spent time in a system that was championship based, a mindset of understanding what it takes. And you add that to this roster, it's a good key piece, I think.
Yeah, I'm excited about Kent Bazemore. Also, how about this? A little throwback. Shaq, Media Day with the great Jim Hill. Shaq's flashing the goods, big game.
Oh.
Rick Fox right there.
Oh, God.
Big game.
Now, you've heard me say, get that Celtic ass. I don't have anything to do with that ass right there.
Unbelievable. More from Laker Media Day on the way.
That's amazing.
LeBron and Melo together, finally. Plus, Trevor Ariza's back in the purple and gold. We'll hear from him coming up. Set of bigs right there. We got AD, Dwight, DeAndre Jordan. Oh, that's looking nice. And there's Dwight yelling. And AD's laughing, and DeAndre's pretending to yell. And I got good news for everybody. AD is on the way. He's here. He's got the headset on. Newlywed. Packers are actually playing some good football all of a sudden. AD, it's good to be you right now, isn't it?
Lakers season's back it's been a great week.
Oh, then there's that too.
Weeks.
Lakers. Then there's the Lakers.
Oh yeah, the Lakers. Yeah, the Lakers are starting too. Thanks, Alec. Thanks for doing the job right, Alec.
Can I start this off first
Yes,
before
please.
we get into basketball?
Yes, please.
Because, again, congratulations to you on getting married. That is amazing. That's awesome. But I want to know, what's more accomplishing for you?
It's a good
Hitting the game winner versus Denver in the Western Conference Finals, or nailing your performance to your now wife?
Oh, I know this answer.
Listen, yes. You know that it's only one answer I can say.
Marvin Gaye.
You can't get it. I can't get in trouble this early.
Marvin Gaye.
Smart man.
Listen, I had a great time. It was fun. I think the performance of my wife was definitely the better performance. It had a blast. We had a great time.
I don't know if you know this, AD. Big Game can sing as well. Big Game You rate him pretty high
Oh,
as a
really?
singer. It takes guts, big game, to do what he did.
Yeah, I mean, you got the pipes.
He's got
you
the
know,
pipes.
You got the pipes. A nice little baritone, different octaves, cool under
We
pressure.
might have to go on tour.
You know what? We can do a little duo at some point. I know you have other things to focus on, but yeah, cool under pressure and passion. You got a little Marvin Gaye in you, brother. I'm telling you.
I love that we're 3 minutes
thank
in,
you.
Allie. I love that we're 3 minutes in. We haven't even thought about a basketball question yet.
Wife, happy life, happy wife.
Now we can get to the
What
else?
Lakers. Go ahead, Allie. You go first.
AD, when you finished season after obviously that first round exit, I have been very excited to talk to you because you were excited about getting back to your off-season routine. What did that look like? What was a day in the life this summer in terms of hoops for Anthony Davis?
Yeah, just getting my body right. I was very disappointed in our first round exit, more so myself just because of all the injuries. Can't blame anyone else. I mean, we can say the shorter off season, and it kind of did have an effect on a lot of guys' bodies around the league. But for me, I just want to get back to my 12 to 14, 16 week all-season training that I'm accustomed to get my body prepared for a season. And I was able to do that this summer. I feel great. Body is healthy. I'm excited to go back out and show the world, what I've been doing. And I've been keeping it under wraps. I had no cameras. I don't do the cameras and stuff anyway doing workouts. But
Only if you're singing.
yeah, only if I'm singing. That's it. but I try to keep it under wraps and just try to keep my head down and just work this summer.
Yeah, I love that about you. And whether it's, listen, AD, whether it's reports or talk around NBA or Lakers, when it comes to you, it's always about playing more center. It's really a topic I think that's probably talked about too much. That being said, does that make it, is there a different mindset or did it change the way you prepared for this offseason?
No. To be honest, it was kind of the same way. But as far as the center thing, I have no problem with it. Me and Frank had numerous conversations about it. Me, LB, and Russ had conversations about it. And they really want to get my opinion on how I felt about it, and I'm cool with it. I think it helps our team. Now, obviously, there's going to be games and where DJ and Dwight start at center, but I think the plan now is to start me at center or maybe start them and come out. I'm not sure how Frank really got it set, but I know I will be playing center a lot more than I did last year.
Yeah, I think wherever you play, it's going to be beneficial for the team. I'm old school. I like inside out first, and then you can do whatever you want. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your off-season workout, because I know in my career it took me 2 or 3 years to realize that the stronger my body is, the more I could withstand, the more I could take on injuries and things of that nature. How have you felt about that at this point of your career, given the fact that you do take a lot of punishment night in and night out, the way teams play you physically, and how that has worked out for you in the offseason?
Yeah, so my first year here, I had a great offseason, and I forgot I played, I think, about like 72 games or something like that, and a couple of them was just because of rest. The whole entire playoffs didn't miss a game, and like I say, last year was kind of a season that I want to put behind me because of all the injuries and the amount of time that I missed, not being able to help my team on the floor. And not from the sideline. So it's a huge part. It's a huge part in what us athletes go through. And I realized the same thing you realize, that the stronger your body is and the more you train your body in the off season and also maintaining during the season, you can withstand those injuries because you never know how you're going to fall or the position that you have to move in. But if you train in various positions and able to lift a lot of weights and strengthen the muscles and the ligaments in your body, then you have a high percentage chance of withstanding those minute injuries or the bigger injuries that some people have gotten in the past season. So I feel great. Like I said, I've been training my butt off. I'm gonna say the other word. To make sure that I'm available to my team whenever they need me.
Anthony, we know the end goal for all of you is bringing banner number 18 to the franchise, getting back to the top. But we know it also starts with the three of you, LeBron, and Russ. It's one thing to talk about it. It's another to actually be about it. Based off the conversations that you guys have had, what you know of the game, the fit, what gives you the confidence that the three of you can lead this team to where it ultimately wants to be?
One word: sacrifice. We all players who sacrifice for the betterment of the team. And before Russ got here and right after Russ got traded here, we talked about that. The only way this is going to work is if we all sacrifice, and we're all willing to do that. Obviously, me and Bron have done it, and now bringing Russ, who wants to win, and he's very, very unselfish. We all want to make sure that we want the best for each other and for our team. And, it starts with us three. And I think by us being selfless players that we're going to be able to make this work. We're going to make everyone better. We're going to make each other better. And, as long as we, have one common goal in mind throughout the entire season that, it's all about banner number 18 and about nothing else, then I think we should be in a good position to reach that goal.
AD, we appreciate your time, and we can't wait to get this thing cracking and talking to you at practices and games. Man, it's time to get it back going, right?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, guys.
All right, Anthony
Thanks,
Davis. All right, thanks, AD.
Right, thank you.
Got to let him go. Got to let him go. Busy day for
I don't
these
like
guys.
when they tell us that.
I know. I want to keep going. It is a big topic, him playing center. It's always talked about. I'm sure he gets asked that question a lot. Did you like his answer? Big game games. I think that's what Laker fans wanted to hear.
Yeah, and I liked his answer, and I respect his answers in the past, based on his success and how he plays the game. But there comes a time where he said sacrifice. Yeah. And I'm telling you, him being in the post, especially early in the game, the defenses are going to collapse. I promise you, or else he's going to have a field day. And I think that's the sacrifice that he has to make in order for the perimeter shooters to get comfortable shots, maybe some uncontested shots, cuts through the lanes. It's just going to benefit the entire offense. So I like the fact that he's willing to, go down in the post, get mean and nasty, go quick when he gets the ball, create other opportunities for his teammates.
Oftentimes when it comes to games, too, it's about what Anthony Davis are we going to get? And usually we look to that force in the way in which he kind of attacks and approaches it. And I think, too, one thing to understand is given his versatility and his skill, he's not going to have to play the center all season long. He's got two guys that we just showed on that camera, and DJ and Dwight Howard, that are going to be there to back him up.
And he mentioned there's going to be certain matchups, and Frank knows what works. We saw this, James, less than a year ago.
Yeah. Put him in there with Gobert, pull him out. Yeah. If that's the situation where he's guarding, other players, if he wants his mid-range game, he can do that. But starting in the post, demanding a double team is going to be a big plus for the team.
All right, the Lakers made some changes at the center position this offseason, and one of those moves was the addition of veteran big man DeAndre Jordan. 22 minutes a game with the Nets, just under 8 points, 76% from the field, a lot of dunks. Look at the rebounds and the blocks. DJ standing by with Brez.
DeAndre, you played 10 years with the Clippers. Now you're back in this city of L.A. How does it feel to be with the Lakers?
It feels great, man. Everybody knows, I was with the Clippers for 10 years before, and this was the first 10 years of my career, obviously, and it was a great time for me here, playing for the Clippers, playing in L.A., and now to come back full circle and just be across the street is awesome. And like I was telling some people earlier, my favorite color is purple, so it kind of works out fine. But I'm excited to be here playing with these guys and and have a chance to compete for something.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying, hey, the Lakers, they could go all the way. How important is it for you guys to kind of put that in a box and put it away and just kind of go week to week?
I mean, we know what our goal is. We know what ultimately we want to do here with the roster that we have, with the great group of guys that we have. And, you know, we know what our mindset is. So we just have to build off of that every day and continue to get better. And, you know, not focus on the outside noise, but worry about ourselves.
The Lakers, great defense last season, #1 in the entire NBA in defensive rating. Lost some guys via free agency and via trades and that sort of thing. Are you going to help try to reestablish that defensive mindset?
Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to bring to the team, to bring to any team that I'm on. I'm excited about that. My role doesn't change very much, you know, being able to.
Oh, they make fun of you over there, a little?
Being able to. I'm sorry, I can't think of my teammates.
We got blocked them out over there.
Yeah. So.
No, we're just talking about your defensive mindset before they started hazing you over there.
You know, just, you know, my job is to, you know, protect the rim for us, alter shots, block shots, be able to intimidate in the paint down there, and grab every rebound that I possibly can. And I'm sure Dwight, AD, a lot of our bigs are going to be able to do that.
Yeah, AD, one of the guys over there who's yelling out to you.
Yeah.
People are saying he looks good.
He looks great. Yeah.
What do you see from him, just in like body changes?
I mean, Anthony Davis is a hell of a basketball player, man, on both ends of the floor. So just to be able to have him fully healthy and his mindset ready to go this year is going to be even better for our team, and we're all excited about that. And I can't wait to get on the floor with all of these guys.
Now, you've played, what, 14 years in the league? 13 years?
This is 14.
This is 14. You set a career best for field goal percentage last season in Brooklyn, about 75, 76%. How'd that happen? Most people kind of go down in that category as they progress through the years.
I know what my strengths are, and, you know, I try to take high percentage shots for me, and, you know, whenever my teammates give me the ball, I'm trying to convert and score. So.
But we talked about defense. This team is also going to score a lot of points, isn't it? It's going to be fun to watch.
It is going to be fun to watch. We have so many guys that are capable of scoring a lot of points, but those same guys are also capable of, you know, averaging 10-plus assists. So, you know, with the many threats that we have, playmakers, guys being able to drive and get to the paint, guys being able to shoot the basketball, and finish at the rim with lob threats, I think that we're going to be we're going to be tough. We got to find a way to put it all together, but I think we'll be fine.
And one last question for you. In talking with some of the guys already, they said that the trip to Vegas was good for you guys for bonding purposes, and you got on the court as well.
Yeah.
What are some of the things you guys covered X's and O's wise?
We were able to, you know, it was obviously, you know, LeBron set everything up, so it was led by players that have been here before, and it was good to be able to get out there and just kind of like go over some things that we're gonna go over in training camp and try to just get a head start with the guys, and it was a player initiative, so it was really cool to be able to get out there and just kind of get a head start a little bit.
I lied. One more for you. Are you starting? Are you coming off the bench? Do you know
Me?
yet?
I don't know. It don't matter.
Doesn't matter. You did both last year?
Yeah. To me, it don't matter. You know, it's bigger than one person, so I just want to come out here and contribute as much as I can and help us win games.
DeAndre, thanks for the time.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, sir.
How about this stat? Players with the most dunks since 2008, 2009. DeAndre Jordan leads the way, followed by a few of his teammates. Dwight Howard at 2. LeBron James at 3. AD at 6.
Wow.
That's a lot of dunks on there, guys. A lot of dunks, Big Game James.
It's crazy.
It's a lot.
A lot of dunks. You have
a lot of
5
jumps.
centers and LeBron.
And LeBron, of course, in
there at number 3. But yeah, I mean, this guy right here, he's going to have a fun day with the lobs he's going to be receiving. DeAndre
All right,
Jordan.
purple and gold are back, baby. LeBron James sporting the new look, number 6. We got more from Lakers Media Day on the way. After more than a decade away, Trevor Ariza is back with the purple and gold. He was on the 2009 championship Lakers. Last season, he was with the Heat. 28 minutes per game, just under 10 points, shot 35% from 3, 5 rebounds a game. Trevor Ariza's with Mike Bresnahan.
Trevor, back with the Lakers. It's been a little while. What brought you back here to this franchise?
Man, it was time to come home. It was time to be home. It's time to be here. My children are here. Everything I got going on is here. My family's here. So it just made sense at this time for me to come back home and put this jersey back on.
lot of new faces on this team. What have you seen so far, and how do you think this team will do?
Well, obviously the goal is always to win a championship. This franchise has, 17 of them, so every year the goal is to win a championship. But with this team, it's a unique team of extremely talented individuals, and I'm excited to see how the chemistry is going to come together and, how the pieces fit. But it's exciting. I'm looking forward to getting to work with these gentlemen every day, and, I'm ready to play.
Now, you averaged 28 minutes a game, about 10 points a game last year from Miami. Do you know what your role is going to be yet for this team?
My role has been the same role throughout my career. I guard players, hit open shots, I make plays. I just fit into whatever the coaches and my team needs of me.
How's this team going to look with Russ and LeBron and AD as the big three?
Well, I think that's scary. They're all completely unique players. It's not too many of those players like that, and to have three of them on the same team, that's dangerous for anybody.
This team's going to put up a lot of points, isn't it?
This team is going to play well. Obviously every game is going to be a different game, but I expect this team to do a lot of things, put up a lot of points, and play great on the defensive end as well. Yeah,
you mentioned defense. Obviously, really good defenders here the last few years. Some of them got left or got traded away. How does this team compensate for that? Obviously, you're one of those pieces.
Well, again, in this league, it's hard to stop any player individually. So to supplement the players that did leave out, I think you got to do it by committee. And we brought in some unbelievable defenders with Dwight coming back, obviously AD, DeAndre being rim protectors, the length that we have, the IQ that we have, and all those things meshed into one and working together is, it's a pretty good appetite.
How's the team bonding so far? You guys had a really good trip to Vegas, as I understand it. How was that for you guys?
Man, it was great, man. We got days in the court. We got time to hang out with each other, learn each other. A lot of laughs, a lot of good times, really good dinners. There's a lot of guys who make some pretty good money on this team, so the dinners were phenomenal.
Nice. Yeah, not exactly going for fast food every night.
Nah. No In-N-Out.
Who doesn't love In-N-Out, though, right?
I love In-N-Out.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
The time on the court, what would you guys do? Obviously nothing too crazy, I'm guessing, but what was that like?
No, it was just getting used to each other, trying to implement some of the things that we're gonna do as a team. A lot of things that just getting to know each other and knowing our spots on the court, knowing what we like to do, understanding each other.
People are saying, hey, let's just fast forward to the finals, put Brooklyn against the Lakers. It's a good sign for how good you guys are, but that's kind of a dangerous way of thinking, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think that's not the mindset that we have. We understand that in order to, obviously you want to be there in the beginning of the year. You think about those things, but we know that it's a long process before you get there. Preseason, practices, 82-game season plus playoffs, and you can't overlook anybody in this league. We're all here for a reason, always here for a reason, and to overlook anybody would be cheating the process. And we got a lot of guys that's been in this league for a long time that understand you cannot cheat the process. You have to go through all of these ups and downs to build character for your team, so that when you get in those positions in the finals that you're able to, deal with anything that's thrown your way.
There's some people out there that are saying the Lakers, they're an older team. Frank Vogel was asked about it last week on our podcast, and he said, I don't care about that. He said, I don't love that narrative. What do you think about that? You do have 10 guys 32 years and older.
Yeah, that's the obvious that we're 30 plus, but I feel like all the older players saw that, we're the teams in the NBA were trying to get all of them, so they understand the value that players with experience brings. They understand the talent that the players that are 32 and older have. So, it's just a storyline, I guess, or a narrative. But I don't think it matters, because we're all competitors and we want to play and compete. And our goal is to win a championship. So, when you get out on the court, you just got to play.
Trevor, great to see you again. Thanks for your time.
Thanks.
All right, Russell Westbrook is back home in LA as a member of the Purple and Gold. After the break, he will join us. Stick around as Media Day continues. We are back. Lakers Media Day. Allie, Big Game James, there he is. He looks good in that uniform too, doesn't he, Big Game?
Yes, he does, man. I like that purple and gold. Russ sports it well. Finally.
He does look good in that uniform, doesn't he, Allie? I mean, listen, being a Laker fan my whole life, I never thought I would see Russ in a Laker uniform. There he is, Allie. He looks good. But look at this. Players with 20,000 points, 8,000 assists. How about these names, Big Game? LeBron, the Big O, Gary Payton, and Russ. Wow. Oh, he's here. All right, look at him. He looks good. He's the all-time leader in NBA history with triple doubles. Allie's already clapping. He's a 9-time All-Star. Big Game James has a huge smile on his face. He led the league in assists last year. I'm talking about Russell Westbrook in a Laker uniform. How we doing, Russ? Thanks for joining us, man.
Man, I'm great. Thank you guys for having me. I'm doing well. I'm excited about the season, so looking forward to it.
Yeah, I got to say, you're not new to Media Day in a new city, but this city is L.A. The team, it's the Lakers, the team you kind of grew up rooting for. You went to UCLA. This is your home. I remember when you first got traded and you spoke to the media, you kind of said it hadn't sunk in yet. Maybe it was surreal. How would you describe your feelings today going into this moment in your first practice?
I mean, it's still surreal. I think honestly, it probably won't hit me until like opening night or something, but I'm still just kind of figuring everything out, soaking it all in, like, you know, walking around Media Day. Every once in a while, I kind of look down at my jersey like, oh, you know, it's a Lakers jersey. Like, it's still all coming to me, but I'm just super excited. I cannot wait, you know, until we get this thing rolling, and especially rolling here with the Lakers. So,
you know, Russell, welcome back home, man. It's nice to have you. Man, I was riding down Van Nuys the other day, and I saw the big Russell Westbrook car dealership. I was just thinking, welcome home, brother.
well, yes, sir. Thank you, James.
Listen, man, it's so many questions, man. You're getting asked how you're going to flow with AD and LeBron and all that kind of stuff. But it's something I've always wanted to ask you, like just watching your career. How do you define, in your words, killer instinct?
Consistency. I believe that to be able to have a killer instinct, you got to be able to do it consistent. And I believe I learned something a long time ago, that being consistent is the hardest thing to do in this league. And doing the same thing every single night over and over takes a lot of time and energy and effort to be able to do so. And I take a lot of pride in being able to go out every night and leave it all on the floor and be able to have that killer instinct regardless of who I'm playing, regardless of the time, where I'm at, to be able to do it every night.
Big Game, that was a great question. And it kind of takes me to this point. Russell, welcome home. Great to see you.
Thank you.
With that said, I believe, too, that in order for the Lakers to do what they want to do, and that's obviously get back to the top, you, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, starting as the leaders, have to be the best version of yourself. And when you think of that, all the while walking that fine line of sacrifice, how do you do it?
You do what it takes for the betterment of the team. I think when you want to win, nothing can get in the way of that, the sacrifices you have to make. And the only thing that matters is what happens in this locker room and on our team, and that's all that I care about. And my job is to make sure that I can uplift and make my teammates better, making Bron and AD better players as the season prolongs, and along the way making teammates around us a lot better so that we ultimately can reach our goal, and that's to win the championship.
Russ, on our shows the last few weeks here, we've talked a lot about you joining this team, joining LeBron and AD, and as Ali mentioned, the sacrifice it takes, and it got me thinking. I mean, you've played with James Harden, you played with KD, Bradley Beal. Nobody knows more than you how to fit with other superstars. So I ask you the simple question: what are some of the keys to success to like have that vision that you three have to making it, translate to winning?
For me, honestly, I like to learn my teammates, understand them, not just on the floor, but off the floor, because I think when you learn their goals, learn their aspirations, learning, how they operate, it helps. Communication helps figure out what guys like, what they don't like. And in the basketball, for me, take care of itself. I'm all into making my teammates better. I want to be able to make those guys better, make the game easy for them. And I'll figure out how to play and figure myself out later on as the season goes along. But honestly, really, that I just care about winning, and I've always just cared about winning, and to be able to win, AD and Bron, they have to be the best they've been, and it's my job to make sure that I'm there to support and do the things I can and make them better.
And oh, by the way, along the way, you like to have fun. I think that's what we've learned from you following social media.
Oh, man, so good on social media.
This is a two-part question. I actually hate two-part questions, but I'm going to do it right now. You were at Anthony Davis's wedding. How was the wedding?
Yes. The wedding was good. I had a lot of time dancing. It was great. It was good.
It was great. With that said,
AD singing.
we saw you in photos with Jared Dudley, someone who is beloved
Love
here
Duds.
in a Laker uniform,
miss him
obviously
already.
won a championship. And it's been said that you picked his brain. You just wanted to know a little bit more.
Yeah.
What was it that you took from that conversation, and why was it important to have it?
Well, Dud's a good friend of mine, and he's obviously been around here. He knows the guys. He knows what it takes to win. He understands the organization, and to me, I just wanted to understand a little bit more about the guys, learn a little more about the organization, how things are ran. Where does he see kind of me fitting in? What does he see? Because he's been around, he understands what it takes. Been around AD, been around Bron, and I'm all in for listening. I always feel you can always learn more each and every day from anybody. And I wanted to talk to him and understand a little bit more about kind of what was going on. So he was good for that. And even though he's in Dallas, still can communicate. And he's still a good friend of mine.
Last question. I know a day doesn't go by when you don't think about your good friend Kobe Bryant. He loved your game. He loved your fire. How much would he have loved seeing you in that uniform, you think?
Man, that is something I think about daily. Coming to the gym, you come in here, you see, you look up in the practice facility, you see 8 and 24, and I know, he is looking down and making sure that I need to do what I need to do, and that's the only thing I can think about is knowing, being in this uniform, understanding the impact I can have on being home and being a Laker. And creating a legacy, not just for myself, but for my kids, for the community of Los Angeles, for the people here. And, I'm going to make sure I just do my part in going out and playing, for him and through him as I compete in this uniform.
Russ, I know I speak for everyone at the network. We are so excited to have you in the purple and gold. We've always been very proud of you representing the city of Los Angeles. And, man, it is nice to be on the same team. So thank you so much.
Yeah,
Appreciate
great
it,
work.
man. Thank you, guys. I look forward to talking to you.
Yeah, great work on the documentary, too, man. I enjoyed watching it. It was good.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
I
sir.
appreciate it. Thanks, James. Appreciate you.
All right.
Thanks, Russ.
Okay. Thank
Russ.
you, guys. All right.
So excited to have him. That is awesome. Big game. I want to show you this. he did mess around and get a lot of triple doubles, didn't he? Check this list out. Big game, James.
Yeah.
Big game, that's insane. For a guy who had a real important triple double for this franchise, he's got 184.
I remember Russ when he was at UCLA, and I was like, over on campus one time, and I said, this kid right here has energy. He could play for the Dallas Cowboys, any NBA team, baseball, run track. He can do all of that. And you look at the guys that are after him. Oscar Robertson, that's one thing. He set the tone. But Magic, Jason Kidd, LeBron, look at the guys that he is ahead of by a great margin. So that just goes to show you that. And I wanted to ask him about killer instinct, because that's all I see in his game.
Yeah, that was a great question.
Whether he's 0 for 9 or whether he's, killing them with points, that's all I see night in and night out. So that's why he's such a great player.
And it explains why he's been able to do what he has in terms of triple doubles and reaching that mark, because he said it, consistency.
Yeah.
And for someone who can suit up every single night and give that 110% effort, you allow the chips to fall where they may, and whew.
It's funny, Ali, you've interviewed a lot of athletes too, especially on the podcast and all that stuff, and it seems like, and you bring this up a lot on our shows, a lot of guys say their favorite teammate, Russell Westbrook. That flies under the radar. Because people critique his play so much, and people love the way he plays. His teammates do too, James.
And no one wants to play with someone that doesn't care about them or isn't about the right things, and obviously understanding it's a team sport. And when it comes to winning, we all have to be on the same page.
And notice how he answered the question when I said, hey, you played with superstars, now you're playing with LeBron and AD. Like, what are the keys to that working? And he immediately went to, I like to get to know them off the court.
Yeah.
Right? He wants to know about them.
Yeah.
What makes them go.
Well, here's a kid that came in with a lot of energy, a lot of frustration, went through some changes. So you learn.
Yeah.
And when you arrive to where he is now, you call on that. That's why he went to speak to Jared Dudley, because he does know to go along with his great game. You have to have that balance of being a good teammate, being a willing teammate. So yeah, he's got the formula down.
Allie, I guess the biggest question when people talk about fit and changing game and sacrifice will be LeBron and Russ and how they work together off ball.
Yep.
Because the ball will be in LeBron's hands, and it will be in Russ's hands as well.
Yeah, a large responsibility falls on the two of them because of how ball dominant they are, but also in that same respect, it's where they dominate the game so well.
Yep.
And so I think that responsibility is one that they take very seriously. It's an understanding of having to be on the same page at all times, whether that means there's a lot of, alternating in terms of rotations. And when it comes to winning and doing it together, you assume that they're going to have an understanding with the IQ and the understanding.
Allie's brought up a great point. She's mentioned it on the show, and I'm glad you brought it up to Russ, because a lot of people don't talk about it. They talk about the sacrifice Russell Westbrook has to make, but she has said he also has to be the best version of himself for this team to win. That is true as well, Big Game James.
Yeah, he's bringing something to this team. LeBron has it. Let's not make no mistake about it. You don't do what LeBron has, but LeBron, his umbrella is very, is very large. Russ is going to challenge LeBron and AD every night to bring, that effort, that killer instinct, because they're alike. They're the same level of elite players. So it's nice when I had Magic, and I had Cooper and Byron Scott, people that can push you every night when you don't have it. I mean, Magic, he made it a conversation. Yo, I don't feel like you got it tonight. Let's go. So you have guys like that can push you and make you get to a point where it's conducive for everybody.
Allie, to go off of what James was asking Russ about the killer instinct, one thing, when you're rooting against him or your team is playing against him, the word relentless always came into my mind because he just never stopped.
It's exhausting.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, you always have to account for him.
You think of that pressure that he can put on night in and night out on defenses. And then, oh, by the way, if he sits down, you've got a LeBron James, you've got an Anthony Davis, you've got a supporting cast who wants to run alongside of that mentality. And I think that when you have someone who has that no quit, it motivates you, it fuels you, it inspires you to want to run alongside.
Yeah.
When you don't have energy, when you're beside someone like that, not that, LeBron or anybody needs to be motivated, but there are going to be nights when, you're going to see Russ and you're going to have 4 more minutes.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to push through that wall. So yeah, it's nice to have those type of teammates, and like we got another one coming up next.
We do. We have someone that we are really, really happy he's back. I have to say, we were all really sad at this time last year. We talked about it on air because he left us. We understand. But he is back with us, and I'm talking about Dwight Howard. Did you even come close to missing us, the three of us, as much as we missed you? It's okay to be honest.
What? I did miss y'all. I did. I was actually looking at a picture of us on set last year when we did Media Day, the year before last when we did Media Day, and it was here in the practice facility. So I have that picture. Actually, my mama sent it to me.
That,
she
man.
was like,
I appreciate that. Big
she was
game.
like,
I appreciate that.
Man,
Can I say
remember
Purple
this day.
Rain on there?
Yeah.
His hair looks so good.
Purple Rain.
Yeah, babe. I love it.
By the one thing we know, the team can sing, right? I mean, AD at his wedding.
Yes.
Dwight, we'll get into that a little later.
Hang on, no,
go ahead. Jump in now. Start there.
Because I also want to make sure that wasn't acting on your part, because you did just win the Masked Singer.
The Masked Singer, Allie, bring it up.
Oh. Tutti Frutti.
Who's the
Tutti Frutti.
Who's the
Tutti Frutti.
We might never get to basketball. What's that? What he's doing? Big game.
I got a girl named Sue.
Have we paid for all the rights to these songs? Because this is amazing.
So your mom loved the show, right? Was it your mom that loved the show?
My mom, that's her favorite show. That's her favorite show. She didn't know anything about it. We came out here to L.A., and I just took my family and everybody to Disney and had a good time. And then I surprised her at the end of the week.
Yeah, the
took her to the
costume.
Masked Singer.
Costume was on point.
Yeah,
man.
she cried. Oh,
that's
thank
so
you so
cool.
much. I had to get the purple colors. You know, I can't go nowhere without the purple, and so I had to make the suit purple, and that's my mom's favorite color. It's her favorite show, and Tutti Frutti is actually my sister's favorite song, because that's her nickname, Tutti. So that's why I chose to sing that song. So I had a great time.
Hey, Dwight, I think you feel...
And I missed you guys.
Oh, man. Honestly, Dwight, we talked about this a year ago. We all felt like we got robbed because we didn't have a parade. And I love that you had mentioned that. Like, we always said, like, you and Duds at that parade would have been the MVPs at that parade, right?
Oh, my God. What?
Right?
Man, you guys have no idea. I just couldn't wait to have a parade. And when we didn't have one, I was very disappointed. But this year, I'm not going to stop. I want a parade.
Well, is that the biggest? Like, what is the biggest reason you came back?
Celebrate.
Yeah. What is the biggest reason you?
Because I love this city. I love this team, and they gave me an opportunity. You know, once the season's over with, and was able to talk to the Lakers in free agency. I just let them know, like, you know, I didn't want to leave.
Yeah.
I always wanted to be here. And this is my place. I love it. And let's make the best of this season. Third time is going to be the greatest time. So now I'm looking forward to it.
Third time is going to be the greatest time, yet the second time you won a championship.
Yeah, that's pretty good, too.
What does Dwight 3.0 look like in a Laker uniform?
Well, I would say this is going to be the greatest time because I feel like if you look at our roster, you look at the guys we got, you know, I feel like we have a chance to really start a dynasty here, you know, and be that team. You know, we have an opportunity to be that. And I say that because you have some of the hardest working guys in basketball on one team. You know, a lot of people have called us old and, you know, all these different things, but we have so much knowledge. These guys, including myself, we work extremely hard every day. And you can tell by, you know, our work, you can tell by how long we've been playing in this league. You know, if you look at LeBron, you look at Carmelo, you look at Rondo, you look at AD, you look at myself, all of us work extremely hard. Even our young fellas, everybody loves to play basketball. Everybody loves each other. We love to win and compete. And I think that's what's going to separate us this year is just the love that we have for the game, the love that we have and the passion for winning, the love we have for our city, the love we have for each other. I think it's going to be over the top. I think it's going to cause us to just exceed, you know, all expectations and just be a great team.
You know, Dwight, despite the injuries the Lakers had last year and throughout the league pretty much, the one thing that we talked about that was really missed was rim protection and inside congestion. You got you know, the big three in there. Talk about how that's going to be brought back, that rim protection, and also a number of lobs to two of the, you know, best dunkers in the NBA.
Me and DeAndre, we got the most dunks in the history of basketball. So, you know, a lot of lobs, a lot of plays in the paint. It's just crazy to think about, you know, me and DeAndre, the most dunks in the history, you know, out of all the players that have played basketball, you know, so it's just amazing, you know, all of us on one team when we have one common goal. We've never had this like this. So we're all looking forward to it. And, you know, the biggest thing is there's no egos, you know. We've all left those at home. We left those in our home cities and away from this facility and away from each other because we understand what's most important is what's on the front of the jersey. And, you know, we represent a lot of people around the world. So a lot of Laker fans, they love us, and, you know, the way we want to show them how much we care is how we represent ourselves when we're playing and off the court and, you know, how we are with our fans. So I think this is going to be an amazing year. I wish I could see you guys today.
Oh, man, Dwight. Man, we had the desk last time. Yeah. Man,
we will get down to we'll get down to Staples Center eventually for a game or two.
Okay, I hope so, man. We got to.
Yeah,
we got Mr. Big Game.
Hey, listen, man.
Too, baby.
When Allie and I get to go to practice, I might jump in Dwight's arms the first time. I haven't seen him in a long time, man. I haven't seen him in a long time.
It's been a long time, man, but you know it's great.
It is great. Listen, he mentioned that list that we showed before. I mean, think about that. The most dunks in history. And you see DJ and you see Dwight up there. LeBron's on that list.
And
AD is on that list. Yeah, it's crazy. I wanted to ask you this because you kind of touched on it. You know, that chemistry between you, JaVale, and AD was real a couple of years ago. You can't make it up, and it's hard to duplicate. How important is it for the three of you to be on the same page, being anchors of this team?
Oh, it's very important. We want to win. We have to dominate the paint every single minute, every single possession. No possessions off, no days off, because we got one common goal. We understand that the only thing that matters is this moment, and we stay locked in. We stay focused. Everything that we've imagined, we will receive this year. So.
Wait. Oh, sorry, my bad. What is your answer?
Y'all fellas messing with me.
What is your answer to this team? Because no disrespect, obviously, they built something over the last 2 years. You were a part of it in 2020, but even a season ago on the defensive end of the floor. What is your response to this team not being good defensively from what they see on paper?
Well, you know, people are always going to talk and say certain things about our team, but no, we don't care about that. We got some of the best defensive players, defensive-minded players in the league, you know. So, yes, we may be a little bit older, and when you get older, they say you get slower. But one thing that, for us, our minds are very strong. We know how to move. We know how to count spaces on the floor. And that's a little bit different from just using our speed and athleticism. We're able to use our brains and, you know, the things that we've learned over the years to take up space and use each other. You know, we got 3 big centers who could, you know, play on the perimeter for as far as defense, block shots, clog the paint. Then you got LeBron, he's 6'8", 6'9". Rondo, he's in the paint. You got Russ. You got everybody who's going for rebounds, block shots, and, you know, it's just going to be very intense this season, and I think it's going to shock a lot of people.
Dwight, I think it's great that you're back to being one of the youngest on this team. I mean,
yes, it's crazy. I'm not. I can't believe it.
Hey, by the way, Dwight, I mean, we have to ask you this before you go. Any new pets added to the collection? I mean,
well, this summer I actually, Cinco de Mayo, I had 11 puppies. 11 puppies this year. 11 puppies.
Can my daughters come over to the house? I mean, 11 puppies, man.
I have some Malinois mixed with some German Shepherds. I had 11 puppies this summer, so my house has been full of animals.
That is truly amazing.
Only Dwight Howard.
And you know what? 11 puppies. And any 7-footer that's singing Little Richard is a bad man.
He's a bad man.
I'll tell you that right now.
Big Game loves his singing.
That, man.
Yes,
He just perked up when you heard him sing.
Little Richard on the map. Boy,
Listen, Dwight, thank you so much, man. Listen, a lot of drama in Philly. We're not getting into that. We're glad you made it out. You are back where you belong.
I'm back home, man. I miss you guys so much, and I'm looking forward to this season.
Can't wait to see you, Dwight. Thanks, man. We appreciate your time always.
Thank you.
Oh, man, it's good to have him back. Gosh, just that smile. And Big Game, you know who's also happy? Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And he's right about that rim protection and dominating the paint. That's something you and Rob and Fish talked about all last year.
I mean, Marc Gasol brought a lot of tools with him. He could shoot the 3 and great passer, but the one thing that we missed was the rim protection. You know, McGee, Dwight Howard gone. I think he's going to be back with a 3-headed monster, really 4-headed monster when he put Dwight Howard in there. I mean, Anthony Davis.
I liked the comment about the defensive mind. Not just leaving it to skill and athleticism, but understanding how to play that end of the floor, having the IQ. And you do. You look across the board and you think of that intelligence. And Dwight is a guy that can speak to that. As a former Defensive Player of the Year, I mean, plays a part.
2 dunkers of all time.
All time.
It's a crazy stat. All right. Lakers guard Malik Monk enjoyed his best season in the league last year with the Hornets. Let's look at those numbers. Just under 12. The one I like, shooting 40% from 3. These are all career highs when you look at some of these numbers. 2 threes a game, offensive rating at 109.4. We're happy to have Malik Monk in the purple and gold. He's with Brez.
Malik, we were talking earlier with Kent Bazemore, and he said, hey, there's a lot of guys in the 40% club on this team. Obviously, 40% from behind the arc. You are one of them. What can you bring to this team?
Spacing. A lot of open court for all the playmakers we have and all the superstars we got. Then, like you said, Kent said it's a lot of guys that shot 40, and it just opened everything up for everybody else too. So,
how did you end up here from Charlotte?
Couple calls got made, Couple quick decisions had to be made, and I think this is the best choice for me with my career. And ongoing my career, I think this was the best business decision I made, was to come here and learn from all these greats, man.
Yeah, was that part of the allure, knowing LeBron was here and Westbrook was here? Can't forget Anthony Davis. How important was that for you?
Man, super important because, like I said, I just need a lot of knowledge. I've been in the league 5 years. It's my 5th year. I know a little bit, but I can always learn from the guys that's been in here 10, 12, 11 years, and there's a lot of guys on the team that did that. So,
can you envision yourself in the same backcourt as Russ? What would that look like?
Yeah, man, it's crazy. I try to picture it every day. Every day I wake up, man, I'm just in awe that I'm on this crazy team, and I'm just thankful, man. I'm able to be here and just be present and just feel all the energy all these guys bring off, man. It's just super overwhelming.
This team is going to score a lot of points, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We just got a lot of pieces, man, and we got to figure out how to work together. But all these guys been here, all these guys been on great teams, and all these guys know how to win, and all these guys want to win too. So it's what all of us do, man. So we just gonna come together, and I think it's gonna be a great year for us.
It's always fun to talk about offense. Got to talk about defense
Got to
too.
talk about it.
Lakers lost some key players during the offseason. How important will that be to establish that defensive identity?
That's what wins everything, man. Defense. You can't let the other team score. That's all that come down to it, man. If they outscore you, then you lose the game. So everything's come down to defense, and I think we got a lot of big threats in the paint and on the wing too to help us out on the defensive end. And like I say, all the knowledge, man. It's a lot of knowledge here that could teach us all the younger guys all the things we need to know. So
you had a great 2-month run in particular with Charlotte last year in February and March.
Yes, sir.
Really bumped up the averages. What was clicking for you in those 2 months?
Me getting to the rim. I was getting to the rim, shooting a little bit more free throws than normally, and that opened everything up for me, and I was just able to keep the defense off balance.
Or it's that easy, is it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, when you're out there in Charlotte, played against LeBron a couple times a year. What will it be like for you to play with him?
With him, I don't know, man. I can't tell you the answer. Like I said, I'm still in awe that I'm on this team. So I'm just trying to learn everything I can, man. I'm just trying to learn everything I can.
Last one for you. How far can this team go?
It's a lot of world championships in here, man. I think we're trying to get one of those.
Makes sense to me. Thanks for the time, Malik.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it for having me.
Take a look at active career scoring leaders in the league. Hello, Allie and James.
Wow.
It's LeBron at 1, and there's Carmelo at 2. Carmelo is number 10 all time in buckets, 27,370. And he joins us right now. And that's not even the most impressive thing, guys. He's now top 10 on the New York Times bestsellers list with his new book. What's up, Mello? How we doing?
Number seven to be
Number
exact.
7, yeah. Just to get, by the way, you get that in there. You get that in. That's the jersey number.
Ironic, right?
Oh, man, I love it.
Absolutely.
Bello, congratulations with
That's
that,
cool.
by the way. I know you and Geet a couple of weeks ago talked about your book tour. And when you think about it, here you are trying to gear up for your 19th season. You're on a quest to win a championship. All the while, you're also an author. How do you balance it?
It's easy. It's easy.
Oh.
I mean, once basketball comes first. That's a no-brainer. Everything else after that is just extracurricular activities. So as long as you're able to stay solid and lock in on what you need to lock in on, you have time and you have room to do other things.
Mello, Big Game's got a smile on his face because I think he's just happy you're finally here. Is that what you're thinking over there, Big Game?
I am, man. I'm very happy. I was fortunate enough a few years back when Mitch Kupchak was GM to sit in on a little presentation, and things didn't work out the way they did, but he's here now.
He's here now,
and that's the only thing that matters. And I have a question, because after 15 or 16, 17 years, people try to write you off, and people try to say, okay, you're at the end of your career. And then you pop up in Portland. I said, damn, I knew it. I knew he wasn't done.
He wasn't even close to done.
Talk about that, man. Talk about how, in your mind, because veteran players have wisdom. They might not be 22 anymore, But talk about how that has evolved from being the Carmelo, who was a dynamic scorer, to now being the, like the X factor now at this point of your career.
Yeah, well, I mean, we all understand the game, right? We all students of the game. So, if you do the history of the game, nobody never stayed the same, right? There's going to always be adjustments that you have to make. You're going to always have to adapt to certain situations and certain roles because of, a big part of that is that narrative of as you get older, you lose something. And for me, I've always, it never was a basketball thing with me. I always believed in myself. I always knew and know what I can do on a basketball court. I always rely on my work ethic, being in the gym, being knowledgeable of the game, sharpening my mental. And I think once I got to that point, basketball just became, it was more easier for me. It was more efficient for me because I put those 10,000 hours in. I put the 20,000 hours in, and behind the doors, behind the scenes at night and in the morning and working out when nobody is there. Like people don't know that. They may hear it, but they don't know that. They don't understand what that takes. And for me to be taken away from the game for that year and some change, that really gave me, it rejuvenated me. It gave me a newfound passion about the game from a whole different perspective. And I think what you're experiencing now and what you have experienced when I was in Portland is that passion.
Amen.
Yeah, well said, well said. Spreading the floor in today's NBA, especially with the roster around you, is key. Career best from three at 42%. How much work, Melo, and I'm glad you brought up that word before, efficiency. How much work do you put into that part of your game? Because every single year you've gotten more and more efficient from there.
Well, you have to. Listen, the game is getting younger, so you have to still fine tune those skills, and then those knives in the drawer, man, you gotta keep them sharp. And for me, I've always tried to figure out how to stay sharp and how to stay ahead of the game, how to stay ahead of my competition, how to be smarter, how to utilize things differently. Like you said earlier, man, I'm not 22 no more, so I got to go about things a little bit differently. I got to think things through more so now than I had to when I was 22. I could just go and play off of pure skill, talent, and just being green and just being raw. So, the times have changed, man. But I'm blessed, man. I'm 19 years in this NBA, man. And, this is the NBA's 75th birthday coming up. So, and for me to say that I've almost spent 19, 20 years of that, I'm blessed, man. That's the only thing I can say.
Melo, when it comes to winning, which is obviously your goal, it takes a team. And we've talked to the big three already when it comes to Russell, AD, and LeBron, and each have echoed that sentiment here today. And when it comes to the relationship between you and LeBron, the friendship, we know, goes beyond basketball. Obviously, the battles over the years with the two of you, well documented always. They've always been fun to watch. But you recently just said, at this point of your career, I'm curious, that you needed to hear directly from him. Why was that important when it came to joining the Lakers?
Well, because I know our friendship, I know our brotherhood that we have, I know the connection that we have. And over the years, we've kind of been dipping and dabbing at, let's play together and let's do this and let's do that. But it wasn't that. And at this point in time, where we both are in our careers, I think we both needed to hear that. I needed to hear, I need you, I want you. Like, let's go. I needed to hear that affirmation. Whereas before it was just, come on, I think this would be cool. I think this would be dope. Let's make it happen. It was a different feeling. It was a different vibe at this point.
I mean, Melo, so many.
He's in the background right now dancing.
I mean, so many future Hall of Famers on this team. Like, what's the pecking order? What's the pecking order? Like, who gets to eat first on the plane, the Vegas trip? Who was in charge?
You know what it is?
Yeah.
I'm the oldest, man, by a couple months. So
yeah,
that's the pecking order right there. But it's a level of respect that we all have for each other, and I think that's that's the most important thing. You know, we respect each other as, you know, not just as basketball players, but as men. And when you have that, you're able to communicate better. You're able to hold each other accountable, you know, more. Because, you know, let's be quite frank, man, it's going to be ups and downs this year. We ain't going to have it all figured out every time. I would love that. But, you know, this is a long journey, and I want to go through all the leaps and hoops and loops and valleys and hills and mountains that we're going to go through. I want to experience that, because I know at the end of the day, if we do what we got to do, it's going to make that journey, you know, that much better.
Great stuff from Carmelo Anthony, man. We appreciate you, and from a guy that has an Italian mother, 100%. I loved your Italian meal reference that he had, analogy the other day.
I appreciate
Doesn't matter
that.
who's cooking in the kitchen and how old they are, as long as the food tastes great.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
Oh man, I
Food tastes
appreciate
great,
that.
and a good cigar.
Great grandmother, my grandmother.
Cigars on the way.
Cigars on the way.
I like
cigars
that.
on the way.
Yes, sir.
All right, we appreciate you, Melo. Thanks so much, man.
Welcome.
Thanks so much,
for
Rob.
spending
Absolutely.
the time.
Thank you, man. Thank you. All right.
All right, we got to talk a little Carmelo right there. By the way, I'm already thinking about backstage Lakers. Melo, big game, cigars, little wine. Bron comes in. Now you got the three of them.
It's life.
Hello.
Bringing AD.
No brainer.
Who else sings?
Dwight.
Dwight.
Then we got a little trio or a little quartet.
Allie, I will be serving. I'll be the server. I will come in.
Yeah, whatever you need, I got you. Whatever you guys need.
Listen, what do you guys think the impact will be on this team? I mean, you have a guy like Melo and Russ who have not won that title yet, and they are here for one reason and one reason only. Big game. How will he impact his team on the floor?
Make no mistake about it. We have fun in these interviews. Carmelo was, almost out of the league in retirement. He comes back to Portland and proves that he still has some gas in the tank. He's talked about the sacrifices that you have to make. He's serious. He and Russ are serious. Rondo won one in Boston, came in here and got another one with LA. They're seeing players in their generation winning championship at any cost. And so I think he's serious as hell about winning a championship. Yeah, he loves LeBron. He likes being in LA and all that. But he wants to put himself in a situation where he can put on his resume that I am a NBA champion. So he's done everything else. That's the only thing that he wants to do that's left.
All right, Kendrick Nunn joined the Lakers this summer as a free agent. He averaged 15 points per game over his 2-year career in Miami last season. And Laker fans remember him from the NBA Finals just a year ago in the bubble. Here are his numbers under 30 minutes, 14.6 points per game, 38% from three, 49% from the field. So a young man that had some decisions to make and was a wanted basketball player, but he chose the Los Angeles Lakers. Kendrick is now with Perez.
You bring with you definitely some defense, also some offense. What part of your game do you hope to show more of during this season?
I think the part of my game I want to showcase a little bit more is my defense. Just getting after the ball, getting some steals and things like that, getting out in the open court, turning that to some offense.
Yeah, the Lakers definitely lost some good defensive players via trades and free agency. Mm-hmm. You're one of those guys who might step in there, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, talk about your offense, too. About 15 points a game from Miami last season, 38% from three-point range. Lakers need some shooters. Are you going to be one of those guys?
Of course. That's one of my strengths, and I'll definitely bring that to the table.
When you talk about LeBron and Russ and AD, you play with some pretty good guys in Miami. What will it be like to play with those guys here?
It's gonna be awesome to play alongside of those guys. Great forces, and they open up the court a lot for me, and I would get a chance to do a lot of great things.
Can you picture you and Russ in the same backcourt? What might that look like?
It's up tempo, you know what I'm saying? Coming down, getting up in transition, getting out of upper court, just spacing the floor. That's tough to guard. That'd be tough to guard.
People are talking about AD and how he looks, how he's kind of worked on his strength during the offseason. Do you notice it in just your limited time around him?
Definitely. I mean, he's pretty dominant. You see it as soon as you see him.
I got to talk about Vegas. Apparently you guys had a good trip there, a good bonding trip.
Yeah.
Also some X's and O's stuff. How's team chemistry after a trip like that?
Team chemistry has been great. It's been building every day. The more and more that we're together, the better it's going to be. Guys like each other around the locker room. The energy's good, the energy's high, so we'll definitely continue doing that.
Not that long ago, you played the Lakers in the NBA Finals, your first year in the NBA.
Yep.
It's kind of nice to be on LeBron's side this time.
Yeah, it is, for sure.
What's he like as a player once you get up and close to him?
Just being around him, man, he's a brilliant leader, real vocal, gets the best out of guys, and my potential is the sky's the limit. So he's definitely going to bring that out of me and as well as other guys in the locker room.
Last one for you, pretty open-ended. How far can this team go?
The sky's the limit for the team. The goal is we all have one goal in mind, and we all here do it as a collective effort to get it done.
Sounds good to me. Kendrick Nunn, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brez. A patient point guard waiting for Kendrick to finish because he is joining us and he is back. He's a two-time NBA champion. 14th Allie and Big Game James on the all-time assist list.
Bad
and
man.
how nice is it, Rajon Rondo, to be one of the youngest guys on the team now?
Whew, it's amazing. I went from the oldest guy 4 months ago to arguably, like I said, middle of the pack. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling youthful now and ready to go.
I think you know this because coming over from the Celtics, there was a lot of talk about, oh my gosh, Rondo's coming over. And all of a sudden, the championship, the game winner against Boston, everyone loves Rondo, and then you leave. We missed you. We missed you. I hope you missed us. But what was the biggest reason for coming back?
Just winning the championship. You know, the organization, Frank reached out, you know, Rob, Bron, Kurt, I mean, the entire family reached out and said they thought this would be a good fit for me, and likewise. I don't think I was going anywhere else. You know, I knew I was traded to Memphis, but at the same time, I just moved my family out here to LA. My kids are here with me this year, and I was looking forward to that. So it's just been a blessing, come full circle to come back to the Lakers organization and compete for a championship again.
You know, Rondo, you've heard just about every question, man, over the media day. So I don't really have any questions. But I always say, if the entire coaching staff got kicked out of the game, if Rondo was still out there, we'd be okay.
We'd be okay.
I always say that. So I don't have any questions in particular. Just give me your spiel on where you are in the season and whatever you want to convey to the fans and everybody else. I don't have anything in particular, man. Just go ahead and do your thing.
I kind of know I want to know what your starting five might be.
just do your thing, man.
I appreciate the compliment, Big James.
Yeah, that's the truth. I really do believe that.
If that happened, I mean, I would definitely be prepared and ready to go. It'd be a special moment, but obviously that's not going to happen. But it's such a great, talented team we have, and no matter who was coaching, if everybody kicked out, it could be me, Bron, it can be Austin Reeves. You know, it's just a matter of us guys willing to sacrifice and play for one another, and finding the open man. It's pretty simple basketball.
Large in part, that compliment, Rajon, comes because you're one of the most intelligent players our game has ever seen. When you look at the roster right now as it's constructed, what has you excited in terms of the way in which you'll lead inside that locker room?
Just our depth. You know, I think, you know, no one has to burn out minutes. No one has to try to, you know, pace themselves throughout the season. I think we're a very talented team, and in so many positions, you know, guys are interchangeable. We can switch positions. Guys can step up. Guys can take nights off and still compete at a high level. And expectations are to win every night.
Is it kind of crazy, Rondo, to think that championship in the bubble is less than a year ago? Or does it seem like a lifetime ago?
It seemed like it's 4 years
right?
ago.
Yeah, 4 years ago.
It doesn't seem like I've been gone for so long. But no, it definitely feels a long time ago, and that's why coming back here this year in particular is big for me, and understand that we definitely want to parade here in Los Angeles.
And you were such a big part of that rotation as that other playmaker. Is that the same role you kind of see yourself as, that guy that can create, you know, give LeBron a chance to not have that ball in his hands and rust the entire time?
We have so many talented guys that can make plays. You know, I do pride myself on that's what I do best is play make. But whatever role this organization, this team asks of me, whatever Frank wants me to do, that's the role I'm willing to step up and do. Whether it's play 40 minutes a night, whether it's sit 40 games in a row and coach. You know, I'm willing to do what it takes. And I have one common goal. You're 16, no ego here, and I'm willing to do what it takes to win a championship here as a Laker one more time.
Rajon, as you know, it takes a team to get back to the top. But you were also a part of a big three in Boston. And now with the one that you guys have constructed here, in your mind, what's the key to success when it comes and starts with that?
It starts with the big three. It starts with them sacrificing, allowing each other to blossom. Each game is going to vary. There's no, one go-to guy because all three of them are the best at what they do. So being willing for those guys starts with them, willing to sacrifice, and everyone else being ready to step up when their role, when their name is called, when their number is called, and make plays for each other.
Rondo, I remember when Lonzo Ball was in New Orleans, he mentioned your name as a vet that helped him. THT Unsolicited said it on the air. When you look at these young guys around you now, the few that they have, how much pride do you take in that part of the game, in helping those young guys?
A lot of pride. I think it's only right for me to give back. I had great vets when I was a young guy, 20, 21 years old. I had, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, who was my mentors, and they came in every day and showed me what it took. And that's for me to full circle give it back. You're 16. Any young guy, they've always known that I'm willing to help in any way possible, whether it's watch film, whether it's stay and rebound for those guys. It's whatever it takes as an older player on the team to get those guys comfortable and make them more accountable for night in, night out play on our games. That's what I'm willing to do.
Rajon, it's well documented, the relationship, the respect between you and Anthony Davis, going back to New Orleans, and then obviously competing together for that championship in 2020. What have you seen from him lately that has you excited heading into this season?
I haven't seen anything. Everyone's talking about how big he is.
I actually made that.
He's right here beside me. I think he's been doing maybe like 18 push-ups a night or something like that. Maybe getting a little bigger, but other than that, he's still dominant AD. I look forward to helping him any way possible and getting another championship. So everyone's talking about how big he is, but he's the same to me. His neck might be
He's the same to me.
Here's a flashback. I got a flashback.
What do you got, big game?
Denver series. Speaking of Rondo and AD. Denver series.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
Rondo goes to the coach and says, "Coach, you sure you want me to take it out?"
You want me to take it out, Frank?
He took it out. What happened? He threw it to who?
Bounce pass to AD.
Big
By the
memory.
way,
Yeah,
a little
it was,
look away bounce pass.
It was crazy because I think I had about 4 or 5 turnovers that game. So, we had no timeouts. I've already had 4 turnovers. I've been on the sideline ice. So I'm like, let's do it, Frank. And he believed in me, and the rest is history.
The great ones do. They always remember their flaws.
Yeah, he's talking about who cares about the 5 turnovers, Rondo?
Coaching, even while the coach is on the floor.
Yeah.
Still coaching.
Big Game's dream is still alive. Of all the coaches getting kicked out of the game, he has set a time, and Rondo comes in. He still wants it
Wouldn't
to happen.
skip a beat.
All right.
We can't finish yet.
We can't,
I'm practicing
we got
my X and
one.
O's, so I'm ready.
Hold on, we got one, don't we?
I wouldn't doubt that. We haven't talked yet to anyone, Rajon, about Vegas, the mini camp.
Mini camp.
But we heard that there is a nickname for the young guy. For Austin.
The Rook.
I don't know. Besides Rook, there's another nickname?
Man,
You're trying to
I
get it.
threw that lob to you.
I mean, I don't.
No?
I can't give you that. He's just Rook to me, both of them. So
He can't give you that information, Allie, but you tried.
Everyone else gave the information,
Not
but
now.
I tried. I did.
Can you give it to us,
you
Allie?
did.
Hillbilly Kobe?
That's his name? Hillbilly Kobe. Trev's called him light skin already, so I don't know. I don't have anything.
Oh, I love it, man.
Rajon, you're the best.
Rondo, thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
back, man. We appreciate
Welcome
it.
back, man.
And,
Appreciate
we're excited.
it. Glad to be back. Appreciate you guys.
Glad
See
to
you
have
guys
you.
soon.
Thanks so much.
All right.
Oh, that was great. How about this? Active career assist leaders. Look at this list. Okay, CP3, LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, Rajon Rondo. Man, Allie, he's used to like setting people up, and this time you set him up
I set
perfectly.
him up,
He didn't want that
didn't I?
shot. He's like,
Man,
Wouldn't take the
I
lob.
should have known. KYP, Allie, KYP.
He had, out of those 4,
yeah.
he and Rondo, Chris Paul remind me of the features the most.
Yeah.
And how they affect the game and how they affect others
Yes.
on the court. They're very similar in their roles kind of over their career.
I mean, it's crazy, Allie, when you think of like, and he's not number 13, but when you look at this team and you go down, oh, he's, when he got picked, it was like, oh yeah, Rondo, we're gonna have Rondo too. You'd already had 12 guys lined up, and here comes Rondo.
And
So
for
valuable.
any intelligent mind, the one thing you think of